Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the lovely state of affairs we like to call the Anime Rest Stop. I am your host, the founding father. My name is Chris. Hi, everyone. Uh, Today, as part of the online initiative to provide some quality fun for those that cannot make it to um, Otakon weekend, uh, just gonna do a video panel talking about um, a fave of everyone's, and that's Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the anatomy of a shonen mega hit. So we're just gonna look at a few things. Uh, why is Demon Slayer so good? Why is it so um, publicized? Why is it making all the rounds? You know, everyone, their grandmother knows what this thing is. Um, let's let's find out. Let's find out, everyone. So as we can see here, um, some of our key shonen protagonists here are pondering this as well. Has anyone ever heard of it? Which is, you know, think at this point in time, I think the answer is obvious. Yes. So Demon Slayer has a lot of notoriety. Um, Certainly, not just from the spectrum of shonen fans and those who follow um, anime, but the mainstream, uh, the casuals of the world are very aware of matters. Um, and just to go off here, Demon Slayer overtakes Spirited Away. How Miyazaki's Spirited Away, the one that won the Oscar a long time ago, according to The Hollywood Reporter. And that's referring to um, Demon Slayer's movie Mugen Train. Of course, some other headlines here as Ichiro Oda of One Piece notoriety um, very much respects um, Demon Slayer. I mean, you don't get 150 million copies circulating about and not get respect. Uh, when you can get a nod from Ichiro Oda, who's been at it a very long time, and even nods from Yoshiyuki Tomino of Mobile Suit Gundam notoriety, that kind of lets us know you're kind of a big deal. Just a smidget. There's just a bit. Um, and of course, Demon Slayer author makes Time's list of 100 emerging leaders. This was a big one. Just in preparation. Very shocked that such a feat was made, and it certainly it indicates where manga and anime have gone as far as overall appeal. And it's been like a progressive step since, and this is very symbolic of a brave new world with such people in it. So here's some fun facts where we really start getting into it here. Demon Slayer is in the top 10 of greatest manga of all time, greatest manga ever. And that includes a lot of hitters. One Piece, obviously, Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, Golgo 13, Kochikame. Um, Demon Slayer surpassed Crayon Shinchan to get that honor. Um, it has the shortest volume count of the top 10. I mean, it's 23 volumes compared to so many of the other luminaries that are like 200 volumes, 92, 43, which, Naruto's in that mix, and Naruto is in that top 10, and Naruto has far more than Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer's in that mix of it. It's kind of funny to think about that. Uh, then, of course, Demon Slayer has earned 2.6 billion as a franchise for just all the things. So, a lot of business with Demon Slayer. So, swing and a miss. What makes a hit? Well, I think the creator makes a hit by and far. I think all creators make hits, or some misses, but I think it's the personality of said creator that makes a unique hit. And let's take a look at uh, Koyoharu Gotoge, um, anonymous creator. Although there are um, there are particular comments from editors indicating gender, but I think part of that appeal comes from the fact there's little known of the creator. Um, Compared to other shonen creators, or just overall, really, when it comes to mangaka, um, I think that element of mystery has its own allure, and certainly can't go wrong there. Of course, Gotoge debuted 4 different series that did not get serialized in Jump initially to get the overall treatment of a long-term series. They were like one shots, and one of those one shots ended up being the basis for the hit that we're talking about now in Demon Slayer. And it was the encouragement of an editor that led to that said one shot um, going on to be the pinnacle of not just um, not just of its target audience, but an overall global hit by and far. But the creator plays a role in that. I want everyone to make a note of that, as there'll be a test on this at a later date. Publisher. Okay, you could have the best creative mind in the world, but it means nothing unless you have a good team, a good company backing you. And certainly we could see that in a lot of superhero movies. We could see that in various other elements. Shueisha has a very long history as it relates to the publishing game, and specifically when it comes to shonen. As you can see here, uh, poster celebrating 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump and all of its amazing properties. Um, Over the course from Kochikame, Kinnikuman, um, all the way to where we are now, and it's literally a tapestry of blazing hearts by and far. Whether it's sports, whether it's martial arts, whether it's whether it's you know coming of age stories. Um, Shonen Jump has delivered the hits over the years. Everyone has some sort of Shonen Jump title that is near and dear to them. Definitely comment, post down if you have that Shonen hit that is near and dear to you that you recall to this day. Um, put it out there. Let us know. Let us know how you feel in the comment queue here. But publishers make a difference there, and that's timing. Sometimes you could have the best publisher behind you. You could have a great creative mind, but then it's not the right time. And we've seen in the past certain series not really take off in spots because of just awkward timing, or series that have been okay, or solid, but never really got the never generated the appeal that they could have done. in compared to um, the generation of that time. Case in point, uh, manga series Claymore. Claymore, very um, very good title. Um, a lot of confusion. A lot of people like, okay, it's basically female Berserk, but it's actually better in ways. We don't know really where to put it. And given the generational scope that's changed from the 2000s to now, if Claymore had debuted about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, it would be probably the most um, immensely popular thing. So timing plays a role in matters. And in the case of Demon Slayer Demon Slayer's manga debuted in 2016, and at this time, Shueisha had been competing with Kodansha because prior to this, Kodansha uh, had a hit title called Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titan, and Attack on Titan had been taking top spots for a while. Of course, One Piece is always present, and you had a few others in between, Assassination Classroom, a couple others that competed for that. But Attack on Titan was still around. It was still in the midst of that running of top five titles. My Hero Academia was in the top 10 during this time for manga. Uh, Now, Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer's anime debuted in 2019, and by that point, the streaming wars, as we've talked about on ARS 45, the streaming wars were very much underway. They were really beginning, um, and certainly everyone had their spots. Of course, Sony purchased both Funny and Crunchy, though Crunchy's element is still kind of in a weird way as of this writing, but nevertheless, the fact that it was out in the headlines definitely grabbed people's attention. Uh, and of course, My Hero Academia was one of the top anime titles at the time for shonen. It was for shonen. It was the praised one. Timing makes a difference in things. Sometimes you could just hit at the right time and be a star, just because either nothing else is happening or you stand out the most out of the bunch. Now, this is actually a business phrase. Um, SWOT, that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And that's in a lot of businesses, great and small, and it's certainly seen in manga because manga is a business. Uh, Demon Slayer's strengths lie in its simplistic formula, and there's nothing wrong with being simplistic. You can have the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich and be the best tasting sandwich in the whole shop. Sometimes simple works, and Demon Slayer does have that in that regard. Um, Now, crowded marketplace was a potential weakness because, like a lot of manga, and just in general with the comic book industry, both in Japan and America, really globally, there's competition afoot as far as different genres, different demos. Um, in Japan, very competitive, especially those who aspire to make it to either Shogakuan, Kodansha, or Shueisha. If you're in high school and you have that passion for it, um, it can really be its own element because there's so many people doing either the same thing or slightly similar. Sometimes it can be hard to stand out, amongst the bunch. Now, international appeal was a major opportunity because, like a lot of manga, especially during the days of the 2000s with Mix magazine that would eventually become Tokyo Pop, um, there there's the opportunity of appeal for this material. Of course, prior to that, Uh, Other publishers, of course, having their fair share of that element as well, be it Dark Horse or just take your pick as far as publishers and offerings such as Blade of the Immortal that could appeal to a Western audience. And of course, the course threats, of course, any threat in industry, anything outside, certainly a global pandemic, uh, very well and very much a threat. However, despite all of those things, the three I just mentioned, Demon Slayer has been able to make all of those things positives. The crowded marketplace, if anything, gave it competition, and it was able to rise above that competition because of its creative element. With its formula, its approach, the international appeal was there for it, and if anything, the global pandemic, coronavirus, COVID-19, actually helped Demon Slayer become more of a thing because people were looking for an outlet, and Demon Slayer represented that, and a few other things in that mix. So, if anything, very very unique situation for Demon Slayer. Of course, another element that plays a role: high production values. Um, Demon Slayer's manga is well done, well drawn, written, simplistic but well written. For its anime adaptation, high production values, and you can't get higher than, well, you could. I mean, Madhouse in its prime, Mappa, sure, but no. Studio Afotable, or UFO Table as people call it, handled Demon Slayer's animation. Aniplex is producer over Demon Slayer. Um, and of course, for those who know Faudible, know them for the Fate series and a few choice others, but particularly like Fate Zero and Limited Fate Unlimited Blade Works, among others, uh, look gorgeous, pure eye candy. Of course, high quality voice acting across the board for Demon Slayer. Pretty much in the dub, it's a lot of current stars and some legends in the mix of it, such as Steve Bloom. In Japan, very keen Seiyu attached, and if anything, it makes a difference for sure. Um, Especially in the realm of animation, to have very good production values in full effect. Especially you're going to pull off fight scenes and the sort. Got to have that, especially for a fantasy element that we're talking about here. So, even for all of that, when you have a hit, you have a hit when memes. So, if your series, your franchise has memes, the internet loves you. That's just it. The internet has accepted you. The internet has embraced you and everything you represent. Can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong at all. Internet means that, memes means that the internet loves you. Remember that. Now, sure, you can have all the love on the internet, but you really have a hit when, thank you, Joe, money. Zenny, Wulong's paper, currency, dollar bill, y'all. That means everyone loves you. They love you so much they are willing to put you in midstream of things. Hey, I'm going grocery shopping. After I go grocery shopping, I am going to buy a copy of Demon Slayer. That means people love you. Remember that. The internet loves you when you get your memes. Everyone loves you. Well, it means pretty much when they're willing to spend money, everyone loves you. Now, of course, if you can get both, that's that's just prime. That is just prime. So just remember that. As you can see from Scrooge McDuck and Nami's expressions, yes, money. Remember that. We talked about the formula earlier. Let's go into some of that here. So the formula actually dates back to um, really, uh, uh, goodness, to history, and particularly to the Shonen Sakai pictured here, or known as Youth's World, um, created in 1895. Pretty much was a collection of children's stories, particularly of fantasy and triumph and tribulation, pretty much trials and tribulations and just easy to follow narratives that are the very root of shonen, or at least this approach for what we know as shonen today. Now, of course, there's obvious deviations from this formula, but this is the very the grassroots of it. This is the core when you pull it from the ground. This is it. So we have a formula. So as part of the formula, you need a main character. Main character classically is heroic, selfless, never gives up, the never say die spirit of heroes. You see that in you know in classic comic book superheroes, Superman of the likes, that never give up no matter what, no matter the circumstances, no matter the outcomes. And Tanjiro definitely represents that very much for Demon Slayer. And Yuji does really well for Jujutsu Kaisen as the typical the shonen protagonist that protects her friends and fights the good fight, fights for what's right, has a compass, a conscience, no matter what. And certainly enough, um, Tetsuwan Birdie, as pictured to the right, uh, is symbolic of that as well, from her unique story. And pretty much she never gives up, super strong, um, fights for her friends. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. Slight adjustment there. But no, Tetsuwan Birdie definitely has those traits. Great strength, both physically and emotionally. Now, of course, just because you're main character doesn't mean that you can't. Just because you're shonen series, you know, believe me, rich history and comedy as well. It's not all action and just supernatural stuff and superhero stuff, and there's room for humor, and certainly Arale represents that very well. Um, you know, and if anything, a lot of people owe Dr. Slump a lot of credit, because without Dr. Slump and Dr. Slump's success in Japan, we wouldn't have Dragon Ball. That's something to definitely consider. And Arale, so cute, so adorable. Definitely enough. Do not keep Goku waiting another 30 years. Definitely of note there. So as such, as you have main characters, you have side characters. Typically, side characters, they help with the main characters. They help the main characters along in the journey. Some provide comic relief in given spots. Some start as rivals to the main character. Some even become main characters. Even some do end up becoming main characters. Wink, wink. Sasuke of Naruto, and some become leads based on appeal. Given matters. Rin from the Fate series definitely. has her given spots, and certainly enough, given the different routes in Fate, she stands out more. Kakuin from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure started as a villain to Jotaro, and certainly enough would become uh, one of his best, not just his best allies, but one of his best friends. And very very good element there for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for Stardust Crusaders, and of course for the topic of the panel, Inosuke from Demon Slayer, very much that type. So you could say all of this is very much the what has become known in the fandom as the Vegeta type of character. Even though Vegeta um, was a villain, but still in a similar element to that. Certainly becoming an ally and such. And Inosuke definitely has that, despite his boorish good looks. There is of course a lovely lovely young man underneath uh, the mask there. And that may be a spoiler for some, but if you are interested, definitely check out Demon Slayer for that. And we have more side characters, Zenitsu, uh, and Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, and Moroku from Inuyasha. Very similar in ways. Both help their main characters out. Both are very much into the ladies, even if the ladies are not into them. I think Moroku on the right shows that. um, we have Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho, and um, we have Rico from Kuroko in the Basket as the coach mentors, um, or what has been known in the fandom as the Master Roshi type, those that help along in the hero's journey, giving advice, giving criticism where it's needed, and helping the heroes or protagonists achieve their goals. And definitely enough, you know, both are very good coaches. One will kick you in the face, that's on the left, and the other one will see if your abs are like well proportioned. This one on the right. And we have the villains, the antagonists, the bad guys. Pretty much the villain is the adversary the main character must overcome. Sometimes can become allies. Sometimes they can become allies. Depends. We've seen it in the past. Um, we have Sister Jill from Cutie Honey, very fierce, as you can see from the fangs, just very, very fierce, very wicked, classic villain. Of course, you have sitting on the throne is King Piccolo from Dragon Ball, and we have the villain of the hour, rocking all the power, Muzan Kibutsuji, aka Michael Jackson, aka look at that hair. Now, mind you, villains aren't always demons and you know weird creatures. Sometimes they could be political differences. Sometimes they could be mountains. Sometimes it could be a blend of such of trials. But Kibutsuji certainly represents that as far as the cruel, harsh elements that make a historically sound villain. Now, in terms of King Piccolo, King Piccolo certainly represents that more of the latter of on the slide. Eventually, Piccolo, once defeated, King Piccolo was defeated. That we would later get the Piccolo that everyone knows and loves, and that's the sort of surrogate father type. But Nevertheless, if you have a good hero, you need a great villain to balance that out. That's how you have Batman and the Joker. That's how you have you know those classic rivalries, those classic good guy versus bad guy elements that stay through the generations. And it certainly seems that Kibutsuji has that with Tanjiro in Demon Slayer. So as we wrap things up in a nice little bow, have to remind everybody: protect Nezuko. With that, folks, thank you very much for watching. Check us out at Otakon in person because we'll be presenting uh, panels, particularly two of our best panels, um, Skin Deep in Mechapocalypse. Be sure to check us out online. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. It may not be here in the slide, but also YouTube. We're still continuing to bring some fun stuff. Please join our panel thrill ride as we continue to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Um, that said, thanks again. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there.